I'm going to have to do some finagling over here so that I can see people getting into the chat and whatever, and pretty much know how many people are actually viewing this. But I find it necessary at the moment to, I guess, just go live, let it record, make a frickin' statement. People... I don't want to say people are stupid, man, but I'm finding it more and more hilarious that, I have yet been unfriended by yet another individual. I would like to say it bothers me because, they were a good friend, but I don't think it bothers me that much. Only because, and you got to forgive me, no, I'm not looking at the camera because, I'm trying to get this live broadcast, whatever the hell, to come up on the Facebook on the tablet. Yeah, you can see the tablet over here. That way I can get into looking at comments and things like that as they come up. But this is it's really freaking cracking me up over here that I'm being unfriended by individuals. This particular individual, and I'm not going to mention their name, but, they claimed to me to be a centrist. And I do not, in any way, shape, or form, see where they are a centrist. They're not a centrist at all, man. They actually subscribe to bullshit liberal ideas. Which, it kind of... I don't want to say it's hurting my feelings because it's not really hurting my feelings that they subscribe to a more of a liberal ideology. I would say, to say the same damn thing about people that subscribe to a more conservative ideology. Let me explain myself. See, what a centrist is, hang on, let me switch the camera angles here. What a centrist is basically someone who sits in the middle. We walk a very fine line, okay? We walk a very fine line, and what we look at is just like Mama told us when we were little kids. And I want you to understand this, man. Just like Mama told us when we were little kids, we are supposed to look both ways when we cross the street. That's how this works, man. That's indeed entirely how this works. Like a good centrist, we walk that middle line and we look to the left at that ideology, their ideas, and we say, no, oh, wait, there's a good one. And we take it and we look at it from all angles and we see, all right, is this truly a good idea? And if it is, okay, then we might modify it a little bit and we want to try to implement that. And then we turn around and we look to the right and we do kind of the same thing. We look at those ideas and we're saying, no. Oh, wait, there's a good one. And we take and we look at it from all these different angles and we see if we can modify that and whatever. And then, we try to implement that idea. See, that's what a centrist is. People that toe the party line, liberal Democrats and conservative Republicans, while I don't mind either of you, and you do have some good ideas, one thing I've noticed, okay, and I've noticed it more on the liberal side, it does occur occasionally on the conservative side, but I've noticed it more on the liberal side, is that when they can't have their way, suddenly you're a racist, you're a xenophobe, you're a homophobe, you hate women, all of these things, man. And to me, I'm sorry, but that is a little ridiculous, okay? Because someone doesn't agree with you, suddenly they're the worst person on earth, man. They're just bad people. And I'm sorry, I'm not buying into it, okay? I'm not a bad person because I disagree with your liberal ideology any more than I'm a bad person if I do disagree with some conservatives' ideology. I look at things from all stinking angles. And if there's one thing wrong in looking at it from all them little angles, then I take it and I throw it away because I believe in fairness to everybody. Now, there are people out there that, are good friends of mine that seem to think we should do away with the Electoral College. And I'm here to tell you that that's probably the worst idea. And let me tell you why. You want to go with this thing that is, what do they call it? Majority rule. Okay? Let's say all white people in this country, and we're like, 80 some odd percent of the population in this country, they're white. Let's say all white people agreed all the time on certain things. Okay? And let's be honest about this. The black population is about 13% of the country. Latinos maybe a little bit less than that. Then you got Asians and other groups that are considered a minority in this country. So how would it be if all white people said, this is how things are going to be. We voted, we're 80%, and screw the rest of you. Your vote just doesn't count. Your voice just doesn't count. That's why the Electoral College is important. Let's go one step further. If 50.0001% of the population, and it doesn't matter the color of their skin or their ethnicity, if 50.001% of the population wanted a certain thing under majority rule, screw the other 49 point whatever percent. Is that what you people want? Because I got to tell you, man, it works fantastically well as long as you are in the majority. The minute you become the minority and your vote does not count, then it's going to become an issue. This is why our founding fathers, in their infinite wisdom, decided long ago, before the country was a country, and they were writing documents and a way of doing things. This is why they instituted the Electoral College, to make sure that one majority group, did not terrorize the minority group. And it doesn't matter the color of your skin. It does not matter one iota your ethnicity or any of those things. They didn't want to have the majority, the narrow majority. Remember, 50.001%. That's a narrow majority. They didn't want to have those people terrorizing the other 49 point whatever percent. Me personally, I think that's a good idea. Why? Because I know for a fact I'm not always in the majority. There are things that liberals do that I like. There's things that liberals do that I don't like. There's things that conservatives do that I like. There's so much more that they do that I don't like. And let me tell you about Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump, for the longest time, was a card-carrying Democrat. He really was. He even challenged Hillary in one of the debates, man. She talked about a loophole. She had opportunity to close that loophole. Mr. Trump didn't. But as long as the loophole is there, why shouldn't he use it? Why shouldn't any businessman use it? Man, that's why it's there. That's why it's a rule. Hey, man, you can do this. If you don't like it, change it. Yet Ms. Clinton and many other senators refused to close that loophole. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe Mr. Trump as president will pressure these guys to close that loophole. I say, he ain't the perfect candidate, but give the guy a chance. Much the same way we gave Barack Obama a chance. Truth is, I voted for him the first time. After that first 4 years that he had in office, there was change. I didn't see any for the better. Race relations suffered. Things kind of went downhill. We had terrorist attacks in this country over his 8 years. Okay, things just got steadily worse. Huh? I thought it's time for maybe us to vote for change, real change. And need I remind you, Mr. Trump is not by any means, not by any means, is Mr. Trump a politician. He's a businessman. He knows how to negotiate. Now, I've had people point out to me, Mr. Trump certainly knows how to negotiate in the business sense, but not in the political sense, not in foreign relations. Well, I'll tell you what. In that sense, that those politics, foreign relations, all that stuff, it's all a frickin' business deal to me. You know, it's all a business deal to me. What's good for America? What's good for that other country? It's all business, ladies and gentlemen. I have no problem whatsoever letting Mr. Trump, a businessman, negotiate on behalf of this country. Now, I want you to keep in mind that as a centrist, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. As a centrist, I'm going to watch Mr. Trump like a hawk. We're going to do our damnedest. The people of this country need to do our damnedest to hold him accountable. He made a promise. We want to see that he keeps it. You know? I think what we should be afraid of, I think it was CARE. What is that? The Council on Arab-Islamic Relations or something like that. They are calling for the overthrow of the United States government. I think that's what we should be afraid of. We need to stop fighting among ourselves. We need to stop looking at each other and calling each other names. That's what you should be afraid of. Oh, Mr. Trump is going to this. Mr. Trump is going to that. I'm going to tell you what. You know what I think is funny? He's already got 3 people in his administration that kind of blow your ideology, your ideas out of the water. Trump's against women. Trump's against homosexuals. Trump's a racist. He doesn't like black people. Well, I think it's kind of funny that the first 3 people in his administration are a woman, a homosexual, and a black man. I don't think that's by accident. I think he has respect and he has faith in those people. I think that's what it comes down to. So let's be honest. Is he really a sexist? Is he really a homophobe? Is he really a racist putting these people in there? I don't think so. I'll tell you who I do think is, how you doing, Melissa Everett from Ohio? I will tell you honestly, who I do think is a racist and a homophobe and yes, a sexist, a womanizer. Hillary Clinton, who called every single one of her husband's accusers, she called them, the bimbo train. She's a homophobe. Quoted many times and on video, stating as saying that marriage is between a man and a woman. That's traditional marriage. She didn't believe in homosexual marriage. She didn't believe in the gay rights in that sense. Well, you know what? Shame on you, Hillary. I think you changed your mind just to get a vote. And let's not forget all the racist comments of one Hillary Rodham Clinton, talking about bringing them to heel, calling little black individuals super predators. Those are very racist comments. Let's look at what Democrats have done in the inner cities of Michigan, especially. Was it Flint and Detroit? Let's take a look at Chicago. Let's take a look at the cities where Democrats, that's my bird in the background. Let's take a look at the city where Democrats have run things for the past 50s, 60, 70, up to maybe 100 years. And look at the condition of those cities. If you look at it on the whole, it's pretty poor. It's piss poor, I would say. Why anyone would want to continue to vote for that is beyond me. Now, I will tell the Democrats, there is a way to fix things. There is a way to fix things. You need to find yourself, dare I say it, someone in your party like Donald Trump, who's not really a Republican. He's not even a politician. He's that outsider. He's the guy that I feel honestly cares about the American people. And let's face it, politicians do not. They care about lobbyists. They care about lining their own pockets. They will do and say anything to get a vote. And it doesn't matter what party it is that they belong to. So let's be honest with ourselves. I can be, because I'm a centrist. I wish there were more like me. There's a few of us out there who truly are centrists, and it's not a bad thing. We approach things with logic, and we look at things from every angle possible. I don't subscribe to the right or the left. Now, mind you, it does take the right wing and the left wing to make a bird fly. You cut off one or the other, and that bird will crash and burn every single time. It's time for America to wake up fully and look at this political system for what it is. Okay? The whole thing is rigged, no matter what party you belong to. They don't have your best interests in mind. And since you're awake, I think we need to hold all politicians, regardless of party, regardless of ideology, we need to hold them all accountable to the American people. Period. That's where I'm coming from. That's what I say. I mean, it is what it is. No more racist than Obama. I tend to agree with you, Melissa. I tend to agree with you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up on the comments. And forgive me if I don't do such a great job. But, I'm trying to do what I can do over here. It is what it is. Is Obama a racist? There are those that would say he can't be a racist because he's a black man. Racism as defined is that group of white folks that goes after everybody else and they think they're superior and all that good old happy stuff. I don't think that's quite how it works, man. I think anybody who sees themselves as superior to any other group can be a racist. But let's be honest. I don't even like to call them racist. I like to call them ethnicists. Because you go after an ethnic group. The race is human. I'm a human being. You're a human being. If you cut me, I bleed. If I cut you, you bleed. We're human beings. We may have different ethnic groups, but internally, we're all the same. That's all I wanted to say. I think maybe I should open up the phone lines. If you're still hearing me, it does look like the thing's frozen up a little bit. But if you're still hearing me out there, that phone number is 757-745-1436. Don't worry about it being long distance. Okay? Don't worry about it at all being long distance. It is what it is, man. If you got a cell phone, chances are you got a bit of free long distance. So is what it is, man. I really ain't got much more to say than that. We're awake. We need to stay awake and watch the whole system, watch the whole process. As far as you people out there protesting, honestly, in my opinion, I think you ought to stop. You ought to stop, because all you're doing is hurting your own communities and you're hurting America. And I can tell you straight up, it is not going to change the outcome of this election. It's just not going to happen, man. Okay, it's time to grow up. Pull up your big boy pants. Put your big girl panties on. Be an adult. And accept it. Donald J. Trump is your president. Much the same way that we accepted when Barack Obama became our president. when George Bush and Bill Clinton and all the presidents before that, okay, accept the fact this is who's in charge. In 4 years, if he's done a terrible job, vote him out and vote in someone else. But don't think by pulling your little games that you're going to get your way. Excuse me. Because that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. On that note, like I said, if somebody wants to call in real quick, the phone number is 757-745-1436. You will be live in this broadcast. We'll go from there, but I don't know, man. If you're not going to call in, I guess maybe we'll cut it short. But that's really all I wanted to say. Melissa Everett says, I enjoy your show, like your ideas and the way you break things down. Thank you, Melissa. I mean, I won't tout myself as the smartest guy in the room. I'm definitely not. I do look at things, I think, differently than most Americans, and I'd like to think I'm a breath of fresh air. It is what it is. That's all I can say about it. Okay, I am going to cut this short. Maybe I'll be back a little bit later. I'm going to take this recording, and I'm going to put it up on my YouTube channel. So if you get a chance, go over to YouTube and look for Dr. Cyclops. You're going to have to filter it out by channel. I know you can see the, where is it, the little Cyclops guy there on the banner. Okay, just look for that icon, and when you get over there, subscribe to the channel. Okay, I do a lot of short videos like this, but I do have some regular shows that we do during the week. On Sundays, we do Spirit Talk, and on Fridays, on America. But I don't know, I'm kind of maybe looking for a better name for that one, something more generalized, because we're not going to be just talking about politics on that show. We're going to talk about politics and social culture and things like that in this country. At any rate, as it were, let me cut this short. I do thank you guys for watching me, and we'll catch you next time. Tell your friends. It is what it is, man. Look me up on YouTube, Dr. Cyclops. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in there later. Have a good night, and God bless.